Well, good morning and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. We are going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together with some beauty on the outside and some beauty on the inside with a full face makeup tutorial and a Bible memory verse. And this week, you'll be thankful, there is only one verse this week. And while I love the song for this week, it's a little bit different than the love I had for last week's song, but we'll get to that probably tomorrow or Saturday. So, what are we going to be doing? Well, my name is Wendy, and today we are going to be playing around with a new, maybe I should say dilling around with a new palette by Eflano. And so you'll find that palette in our show notes, but any green palette will do you. Okay, maybe. There's a lot of fun stuff in this one. Now, I have not opened this palette yet. I don't usually do this. Actually, I've never done this. But I will actually be opening the palette and swatching it for the first time live with you guys. So it is going to be a true test of how's this going to go. So we're going to go out of order just a little bit because I haven't seen the palette yet in person. So we'll do the lips after we do the eyes, which is not our usual sequence of events. But anyways, so what are we going to be doing? We are going to be playing again with the eyeshadow palette from Eflano. This is the avocado green, but for our intent purposes, we are going to call it the pickle palette. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And our easy makeup tutorial for today is too old for fun colors, or just, how did I say that? Or just the right pickle-inspired glam. So we're going to be playing with some pickle colors, and I think today we're going to call this one the deal. The big deal. What's a big deal? This is a deal look. And I don't know, maybe we'll get to later. We'll do some sweet and sour, some bread and butter. Maybe we'll do a sweet pickle. But for today, it's all about the deal. So we're going to be playing with that palette. So go ahead and hit like and subscribe. Grab your green palette, grab your brushes, grab your lashes, and then get on back here and let's have some, what do you call it? Dilly of fun.
A little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. First days at 8, can't wait.
All right, so like I mentioned, we're going to have a little bit of fun today. Should be exciting. And good morning to you guys too. Go ahead and give me a shout out where you are coming from. And then remember that you can always ask and answer any questions that you have, whether it be something about the Bible verse that we just memorized, the one we're going to be working on this week, or maybe it's a question about the dill look that we're going to be doing this morning. So, all right, our foundation verse for this podcast is Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And all the verses that we are working on are coming from Color Me James, available in 3 different formats on the website, a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. This is going to be an ebook, which is a PDF, so you can use that on your tablet or phone. Then we've got the paperback version available on Amazon, and the spiral bound version, which is my favorite, is available on the website. So make sure you get connected to that for all ways to help you memorize that Bible verse. It is like an adult vacation Bible school in a book. So you are going to be doing puzzles and fill in the blanks and coloring pages, doodling. There's just all kind of options for you there. Here's our song from last week.
Dear friends, do you think you'll get anywhere in this if you learn all the right words but never do anything? Does merely talking about faith indicate that a person really has it? Really has it, really has it. Isn't it obvious that God talked without God? That is outrageous nonsense, outrageous nonsense. For instance, you come upon an old friend dressed in rags and half-starved and say, good morning, friend. Be clothed in Christ, be filled with the Holy Spirit, filled and walk off, God provide.
Okay, and you can hear the rest of that on your favorite listening platform, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. So make sure you check that out. And then the song for this week, which last week was probably my favorite one as far as the music goes and the beat and the rhythm and really helping you like get that verse down. This week is probably my favorite, I think, for two reasons. One reason is because of if you have been on the receiving side of this gesture from so-called Christians, then there's going to be pain. There's going to be a little angst there. If you have been on the side of the doing this, which, shame on us. If you have been on the side of doing this, then you've got that little ouchy sting because you did this. This has been you. So what am I talking about? Let's read James 2, verse 18 together. And actually, let me pull the paper because that is a little tiny for me this week. So here we go. The verse for this week, James 2, verse 18. I can already hear one of you agreeing, saying, sounds good. You take care of the faith department and I'll handle the works department. Not so fast. You can no more show me your works apart from your faith than I can show you my faith apart from my works. Faith and works, works and faith fit together hand in glove. And that is James 2, verse 18. See what I'm talking about? So really like how that song came out. And, I don't know if I've shared this or not before, but my mom and I actually work on these songs together. I put together 2 or 3 different formats, versions of the song. Sometimes the lyrics are the same, sometimes they're tweaked a little bit different. And then her and I listen to them together. We critique each one. What do we like? What do we not like? And then we decide which one is actually going to get published out. She said that my mom said that what she thinks should happen is I should do almost like an outtakes of the songs that were really good, but they didn't make it, because sometimes it's super hard to pick. And this was one of those weeks. It was super hard to pick between the 2 that I brought to her. So wait till you hear that. It's a good one, but let me tell you, I still can't listen to it without crying. So let's hope that is not your particular reaction to it. So today, all of our makeup is going to be, well, not all of our makeup, but our theme today is centering around this palette right here. This is the palette by Aflano. And like I mentioned, I have not opened this palette yet. In fact, let's just take this opportunity right now. Let's just do it. We're going to open this palette together for the first time. So this is the package it came in from Amazon. And we are just going to... Oh, it legit has a plastic cover on it. So yay for security measures. Let's go ahead. We're going to grab some scissors here and let's actually, I'm telling you, I have not looked at this palette yet. I have not swatched it. I have not looked at it. This is either going to be a super brilliant idea or this is going to go down. Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so here we go. We're going to give an open to this. So yeah, you don't have to worry about anybody else's fingers being in it or that this has been given to somebody else and then just got repackaged for you. So this is the Aflano palette and they're calling it the avocado green palette. Now, if this palette performs, there are 4 palettes in this series and I may or may not be ordering every one of them. So it comes in a little sleeve. And then here is what we have. We've got, a nice full mirror. You can see my studio. There you go. And then it's got a cover up. Oh, the colors are numbered. Well, that's good. That'll make that a little bit easier. So here's what we've got today. Ooh. So we're going to be living in probably 3, 1. I'm going to go definitely with 7. 15 we're going to use, but in sort of an unconventional way. And I think probably, given the necklace I have today, I'm going to go with 12. So we've got 1, 2, 6, 7, 12, and 15. That's where we're going to be living today. Not all in one space, but oh my goodness, cannot wait. Okay, so that we're going to set that aside and we'll play with that in just a minute. But this will be in your show notes. So remember, You can do this look with any palette that you have. It could be a green one. It could not be a green one. Just use the same techniques with the colors. You can see I've got a couple of lights. We've got that fleshy and then the white. We've got the dark, which is the dark green, but you could use a dark blue. Then we've got a medium, which was another green, and then a light kind of contrasting color, which is the yellow for today. So this is our dill look, and this is how we're going to be playing today. So let us get over here. We're going to get the words scrolling across the bottom of your screen. Okay, things are not. There we go. Okay, now I can barely hear here, so I hope that okay, y'all are being quiet today. So go ahead. Remember, you can ask any questions. They'll get asked and answered live. So let's get going. We are definitely going to be using an eye primer today. So whatever your preferred eye primer, we'll be doing that. I'm actually going to be using the Juvia's Place Eye Prep Eye Prime. This is the shade 1. Let's just go ahead and start with that since I have it in my hand already. Okay. So it doesn't take a whole lot of this. And keep that nearby because we are going to be doing a cut crease as I see this design in my head going down. So we're going to need to come back to that primer when we get the eyeshadow going. But for right now, let's just lay this down. Get that eyelid ready to go for those nice, delicious, dilly colors. Okay, and now we're going to do our face primer for the rest of our face. For me, this is the Professional Matte Primer. We're just going to give that a little bit of this. And then, hold on. Wesley's trying to grab my lid. Wesley, give it to me. Wesley. Oh my gosh. You know, dogs, gotta love them. So the one thing great about a dog is if that was a piece of nacho that just fell on the floor and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to sweep and mop now. I don't have to sweep and mop because Wesley's got it. The bad thing is if it's your lid to your primer, he's got that too. Okay, so that primer, that is just going to go all over, specifically focusing on the T-zone for those of you with combo or oily skin. And for those of you who may have wrinkles, then this is going to be something that you're going to use to smooth those out. So wherever you experience fine lines and wrinkles, just use that there. That will help minimize those, kind of bridge the gap. I'm definitely going to be using that around my lips today because I see that green glitter happening on there. As I don't readily right now have any green lipstick, we're going to make a green lipstick. What? Okay. So let's go ahead and press on to our Bye Bye Under Eye. This is our concealer. This is going to go anywhere that you have darkness, redness, hyperpigmentation, anything that you do not want to be seeing. We're just going to use a ribbon of that. For me, that's going to be redness going here. We got some darkness going here. I should have gone to bed earlier, but I was playing with the song. So we got a little extra darkness happening. There we go. So we're going to leave that there for just a second. Oh, you know what? I turned the music off. Let me get that back on too so we can get a little whoop whoop. There we go. What is this? Real Techniques Miracle Air Blend, I think is what it's called. We're going to use the pointy tip right here. If I could find my mouse, that would be just lovely. There we go. Okay, we're going to use the pointy tip there. That is going to be what we're going to blend the concealer with. And we're just going to blend that into the eye primer that we put on there. Help that inside corner to really get brightened there. Reduce that darkness under the eye. We're going to get rid of the redness here, and then we're going to blend that out onto the top of the cheek to minimize the redness that's happening over there. Let me get the chat back up. There we go. The other thing I like about using that pointy tip is you can really get up under the eye area there. But hopefully, when you do this, you will not put a hair in your eye. That will be a good idea. Okay, let's see if we can see it. Well, we're just going to hope it works its way out. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to do our foundation. So we're going to switch to the wide end of this. And I'm going to be using the Lancome Tinty Doll. This is the shade 225N. We're going to give it just a little bit of shake there so everything's all nice and mixed up. We're going to use one full pump. And that's going to do the bottom, like from the eye down. We're just going to blend that in to where the concealer is. If I seem to be going a little fast on this foundation, it's because I'm looking at that eyeshadow palette I have not swatched yet, and I'm thinking this may take an extra moment. So I'm trying to give us space and time for that. Blending that right up into that concealer. Just making sure you're using like some dab so that everything is nice, not speckly, not swatchy. Then we're going to use about, I don't know, just a little bit of a partial pump. That's going to go up here. We're going to blend that up into the hairline. There we go, just right up into there. And right around the brows. Oh yeah, we're gonna try a new brow product today. It's not actually a brow product, but that's what we're gonna use it for. Okay. So, while I've got you all in the chat and y'all are being quiet, give me your best, what would you call it? A dill pun? A dill joke? What's a deal? Give me your best. What you got? I don't think I can see graphics, so it's gonna have to be words, but put it out there. Let me see what you got. Now we're gonna set what we have. This is gonna be the Laura Mercier. This is the Rose. The Ultra Blur Tone Up in Rose. And we're just gonna give that, it already has some powder in the reservoir, so I'm just gonna tap it to kind of spread it out so it makes it a little bit easier. And then I'm gonna be using the Juvia's Place Small Puff. And we're just gonna set that in, tap that off. Going to go around the eye area first so I can keep this from creasing. Getting that corner nice. I want to keep it a little bit tacky, so don't go up on the lid. You want it just a little bit tacky up there from that primer that we put in there. Now we're going to take the wide end, just press it in, tap it out. We're just pressing that in, setting that foundation. A little bit of a blur, but really more of a press. Same thing on the other side. Here we go, and right up here. Pressing that in, working around that brow and right there in that center. Okay, now we are all set and ready to go to put our contouring on so we can give our face the shape where we want it. Okay, and whatever is in the air, I think we've got some different allergens. That's always a fun time. Wesley. I'm going to be using the KVD. This is the Shade Plus Light Refillable Contour Palette. I know, I still haven't got the refill yet. So we're going to be right here on this end, and then we're just going to tap in that one, just a little teeny. Okay, so I'm using this, which is a foundation brush from It Cosmetics. This is going to be our low. This will be our high. So we're just going to use that flat side and start out here. We're going to go from the top of the ear, kind of curve down and go to the corner of the eye. And again, on the other side. We're really staying above the hollow of that cheek there. We're going to stay with that flat side. Just give a little bit. We're going to go right up here into that hairline. Just kind of give a little circular motion. Just give a little shape up there. This will be especially helpful if you have a tall forehead. You can come down a little bit more with that. Now we're going to switch to the side of that brush. Using a neutral face, we're going to come from the ear, under that jawline, right to, well, about the corner of the mouth. Give the illusion we have a little more of a cut jawline than we actually have. If you have a square jaw, you can probably avoid this altogether. Unless you really enjoy that square shape, then go ahead. Staying with that side, we're going to go from the inner corner of the eye down the nose, leaving this center vacant, right under that tip. Now we're going to tap just in that one, just a little bit, and go right to the outside corner here. We're just going to kind of fan that from that outside corner over, giving a little extra dimension right here. All right. Then we're going to move to a blush brush. This one is from MAC. We're going to be using the Juvia's Place Volume 4 right here in this one. There is going to be a lot happening. Oh, I see. We've got a nice little scammer. There we go. We're going to take that blush brush. We're just going to get that right in there. That was a lot of swipes. These are very pigmented, so you don't really need that much of a swipe. We're going to go just on the top of that. Changing up the order just a little bit. Usually we go between the blush and the highlighter, but today we're going to do bronzer, then we're going to do the blush, and then we're going to come back with the highlighter. So just changing the order up ever so slightly. I'm going to grab my highlighter brush from Anastasia, my Tickle palette from Benefit. We're just going to swirl that around. We're going to go right beside the eye socket, right on the top of that cheekbone, right on the top of that blush we just did. Going to go right down the center of the face, making sure we hit the tip of that nose. And then right along here, making sure we get that cupid's bow nicely. Okay, and I told you we were going to kind of switch it up a little bit. So we're going to do... Yeah, let's do the lips last. Nah, let's do it now. We'll just do it now. Okay, so I see there's lots of green. So I'm going to use a neutral lipstick. This is the Maximal Matte. This is the Viva Planet. Just a neutral lip. And then we're going to add green on top of that. So I'm actually going to line my lip. This is an eyeliner. This is the NYX Epic Wear, Emerald Cut. So we're gonna have a major experiment here today. Let us see how this goes down. Okay, so I need to give it a sharpen. Let me actually do this. My sharpener's a little full. Here we go. We're gonna use that sharpener and just give us a nice point on that pencil. We're gonna go first in the Cupid's bow. There we go. And then we're going to round that out to the outside corner. And yes, that is correct. I did say this is an eyeliner. Okay, and then we're going to go right here in the center of the lip, just outside of that lip line. And then we're going to round that out to the outside corner. Now we're going to need to ombre this just a little bit because we're going from the green to a neutral. So just to the inside of that line, just give a little feathering, a little shading. All right. So now we've got some nice green lip line. Let's see how nicely that plays with our Viva Planet. Okay, and I actually have another color that evidently I used last with that, so let me wipe that off. There we go. Okay, we're going to start out in the center and just fill in the vacant spot and then work our way to the outside. It's okay. Okay, and now we're going to work out to the outside, going over that lip liner or eyeliner that we put on there. Okay, so we got that happening right now. Let me dab my eyes. And then we're gonna dip into this green glitter. Let's see what happens. Okay, let me get a feel for the texture here. So I'm just gonna take that number 15 and I just wanna swatch that on the back of my hand. Okay, so it's a little kind of chunky. So this is going to take you can see right here, it's going to need a glitter medium. So thankfully I grabbed that. Let me get that glitter off my finger. Let's go ahead and grab our next. This is the glitter primer. We are going to need that because it doesn't really have, it's not suspended in a primer. It's just kind of glitter there. So we're going to take that glitter primer. We're going to get just a little bit. Okay, or a lot of it. There we go. And let's just put that on that lips. There you go. While that is still wet sitting there, let's go ahead and get in here. We're just going to get it on our finger and then press it in. And you want to do it before that glitter primer has a chance to set. Okay. Nice. Can you see that? Yep. Them are some dill lips. Some delicious. Okay. Nobody has given me their pickle or their dill expressions or puns or anything like that. So let me hear your dillification for today's episode. Okay. Now, it is time to press on with our eyes, but let us say our verse together. It is scrolling across the bottom of your screen. I know it's a pretty good chunk, but it's actually just one verse. All it is James chapter 2, verse 18. And I'm kind of stalling while I'm waiting for it to roll around. Okay, here we go. Okay, so let us say our verse together with our delicious lips. I can already hear one of you agreeing by saying, sounds good. You take care of the faith department. I'll handle the works department. Not so fast. You can no more show me your works apart from your faith than I can show you my faith apart from my works. Faith and works and faith fit together hand in glove. James 2 verse 18. And hand in glove is actually the name of the song this week, and I can't wait for you to hear it. Like I said, I can't listen to it without crying. So my mom, when we were listening to it last night, my mom said, "Are you still there? Are you crying?" Okay, so let's grab our Flano palette. Again, this is the avocado green. And again, we're going to be living in 2, 1, 6, 7, and 12. And 15 is what we used on our lips. Who knows? We may put a little 15 on the corner of the eye. We'll see. Okay, so let us get going. We are going to grab a fluffy brush. This is a Morphe M433. That is the technical name. We're going to get in that number 2. We're just going to put that there. Let us see how these shadows work. What are we in for today, Wendy? Okay. Let me get that over here on this other side. Well, so far, don't hate them. Nice coverage, good color, nice consistency. Okay, let's set that brush aside. And we are going to, let me see here. There we go. Let me get the, oh, no. Yeah, oh, there we go. Okay. We're going to start, I think, let's actually start in, let's start in the middle. Okay, we are going to grab just a regular shadow brush. I'm just going to use, here, let me get this one clean off. We're just going to use, this is a MAC, I don't know, something. It's just a regular old shadow brush, like the kind you used to get in your palette with a foam tip on them. I don't think they even do that anymore. So we're going to start out in number 12. So we're just going to get a little bit, because these are very bold colors, better to load a little bit on your brush than load so much you end up with fallout galore. So we're fixing to see how this is going to work. Okay. It's okay. About maybe a little bit creamier than the consistency of the Juvia's Place palettes. I'm not seeing any fallout from it though, so that's a good thing. So far, I like it. Okay, now we're going to take that same brush. We're just going to go on the tip of it. And we're going to go right up here, right up above where that socket bone is. We're just going to use this color way up here. And again, I said we're going to do a cut crease. So some of this will get covered up here in just a minute. But we're just laying some groundwork here. And don't worry that what you've got right now is a harsh line right there. We will fix that in a minute. And don't worry about this edge here either, because we're going to cut crease over that. So you're not even going to see that. Okay. My eyes still watering. I think he said we didn't have any trees in the air. I don't even remember what he said. Okay, so I'm going to start out by, let's do a, I need to move my brushes closer. This is going to be a lot of brushes day today. I can tell it. Okay, I think I'm going to use this one here. Let's start out with this one. Now, where's that flat square one I had? Tell me I grabbed it. Alas, I do not see it. Okay, this one will do. Okay, here's what we got. This is a Morphe. This is an M124. We're going to use this one. We're going to really just use the top edge of that. So I'm going to go in this number 6 here. And we're just going to get it on the very top edge of that. Just right there. We're going to kind of draw a line, a pathway of where we're going with this color so that everything can be all kind of nice and neat. So we're going to go right on the socket bone right there. And we're just going to give us a line where that is. I don't feel like that is as dark as I thought it was going to be. Maybe I should try the 14. Okay, so I moved over to this one here. Let's try 14. Okay, that's what I needed. I need a 14. Now, do you see what I see? There is. I got a little carried away. And there is some fallout. So, make sure you don't overload your brush. So, 14 it is. So, we're just going to go right on that socket bone. But we're going to come out today. So I'm actually going to take this over here. And we're going to give us an angle, which we will clean up later. And then we're going to fill in over here. Again, you don't need to be worried too much about shading and blending and all that just yet. Okay, on that tip again, we're going to come over here on that socket bone. I bet it's called the orbital bone. Anyways. Bringing that in. And then filling that in. Okay. So many things happening. First I got eye watering, then I got fallout. Okay. Same brush. Now we're going to work to blend just a little bit. So you're going to go over the area where the dark meets that lighter green with just a tiny bit of shadow on it. And then you can still take that same brush and go in that number 12. And you're just going to go over the spot where those two colors meet each other. Okay, we're going to take that same brush, just barely tap it in here to the top of that. Just go back and forth right where that meets that lighter green. And we're just going to blend those together right there. We're going to take the number 12 brush that we use, tap it in there. Do that same thing, just go over where those two joined. And then blend it out over here so you got a nice little tail happening. I'm going to take the brush we started with, tap that a little in the number 2, and let's just soften this upper edge. Whoop. Got that number 2, but I actually tapped it in number 3. Okay, we're getting a little number 3 in there then. And we're just going to soften that upper edge with the number 3. Just going back and forth over where those colors touch each other. If you feel like you took off a little too much, you can take that number 12, tap that gently, just go back over it. That'll bring that color back a little bit. Okay. Fallout. Eye watering. Okay, now for that cut crease. So now we've got some nice blending. We've got a nice foundation. We are going to move on to our cut crease. So I'm going to grab a nice flat brush, which is where... there it is. I'm going to grab this one here. This is going to be what we're going to do that cut crease with. So this is a Morphe M410. 410? Yeah, 410. And then we're going to grab that I Prime again. I'm just going to put a little bit of it on the back of my hand. Not to be mixed with the glitter that I've also swatched on the back of my hand. We're going to take this brush and we're just going to dip the very tip of it into that like that. And then we're going to come in here and cut in that crease. So you're just going to give a nice smooth edge to where that yellow is going to go. This green is pretty intense, so you may end up needing to come back in. And then we're just going to take the edge of that and just sort of feather it out into that dark green. Nice clean edge. Okay, so that's one side. Let me get a little bit more on the back of my hand there. I like to kind of keep my, when I'm doing a cut crease, I like to kind of keep my eyes sort of closed. Not a whole lot of opening while you're waiting for that primer to kind of set a little bit. So again, we're just gonna, oops, sorry. Whoop. Just gonna grab a little bit of that on that brush. We're gonna come in here. Giving it a nice fanned out edge there. Okay, looks like I need to come up a little bit with the one on the other side. So let's just come over here. Okay, there we go. I think I've missed kind of the inside on my right eye just a little bit. Let's go ahead and let's just dab a little more on here. I'm going to come back in with that just a little bit. Right in here. There we go. Want to make sure that you get the two sides even. I know it reminds me of some of those. Have you ever watched any one of those tutorial videos? It's kind of a joke, a mock, but where they're trying to do their eyeliner and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It cracks me up. Okay, so we've got that set there. Now let's go ahead and come in with this beautiful yellow that we've got. I'm going to be using, actually, let's not do that. Let's come in with a little bit smaller. I'm actually going to use a smudger for this because I think I'll have a little more. Now, let's do this one. There we go. This is a definition brush. This is a MAC 194, I believe. It's just nice and flat. Has a nice rounded tip. And you can see it's skinny. So this will help us. It almost behaves like a finger. So we're going to go here in this number 7. We're just going to get it on one side of the brush there. And we're just going to set it down on the top of that green. On top of that cut crease. There you go. We're going to make sure we get it all the way up to the top there. Look at those pigments. That is beautiful. Making sure we get it right on that tip because we want to get right up to the edge of that primer we put. There we go. And then we're going to come across here and just sort of fan that out. We'll fix that, soften that edge on the outside in just a second. But for right now, we're just concentrating on getting this nice yellow, delicious color over here. And then we're going to do that same thing on the other side. Again, shadow just on one side of the brush, and you're working all the way up to that beautiful straight line that you created with that primer. You can use concealer to do that as well. I don't feel like the concealer has the tack, though, that the primer has. There we go. Now we've got that nice yellow in there. I'm going to go, well, no, let's not do that just yet. We're going to get ahead of ourselves. Okay. So we're going to give a little, now we got all this happening on the top. We need to balance it out a little bit with something on the bottom. So I'm going to grab a smudger. This is a Morphe M, what are we, 508. And again, because my eye is watering, let's go ahead and do this. Nice. Okay. So we're going to go into, let's do the 14. Just right on the tip of that. Just going to get a little of that 14. We're going to join here to under the eye. So you want just a straight line. And then we're going to give it a little extra oomph in that corner there. Okay, fallout. Woo. No worries. Gonna take that same brush. We've pretty much used everything off of there to do what we've done so far. You can tap it off if you want to. Get in that 12, just on the tip of that again. 12's gonna go all the way to the inside corner. And you're just gonna meet that 14 about halfway. Don't worry about it being messy just yet. We're going to play with that yellow just a little bit on that underside. So I'm going to grab a smudger of a different type. This is more of a tipped smudger. This is the Morphe M431. We're going to grab that. We're going to go in that yellow just like boom. We don't want like a whole yellow, just a little tiny bit. Or you could drop it on yourself. Okay, tap it, just a little bit of yellow. And you're going to soften the edge of that green with that yellow. Right on that underside. My eye watering is working against me right now. Okay, nice. Let's go ahead and get the ball out. Okay, so we're going to set that aside for just a second. I am going to grab another smudger, just a little tiny one. This is just another one of this is an M213. We're going to go in this number 1 right here. Just a little bit, only on one side. And we're just going to go on that inside corner. Just use it to brighten up that inside corner just a little bit. Okay, now I promised that we were going to work out that gap between the dark and the light over here. So we're going to go back to the M124. We're going to use a little bit of that 12. So just tap that 12 in there a little bit. And right here on the edge, you're just going to take that 12 and soften that edge onto that yellow just a little bit. Oh, 12, Wendy. 12, Wendy. There we go. Now it looks like right here. There we go. Okay. Now I do feel I've got all this beautiful glitter happening down here and I don't have any up here. So I feel like we owe it to ourselves to put a little up there. So I'm going to take that NYX glitter medium again. I'm going to get it on the back of my hand. You know, I'm just going to put it with that primer that we had from the Juvia's Place. Just a little glop of it right there. I'm going to tap into that just a little bit. I'm using my middle finger so I can't apply too much pressure. And we're just going to go right about there. Let's just do that right there. Right where that yellow is meeting the green. You know, that nice soft color we just did a second ago. While it is still damp, we're going to go in that 15, and we're just going to put a little bit of that right there into that. Just a little bit. If you need to, you can go ahead and just tap a little bit into that primer and then immediately tap into the glitter. There we go. How's that? How's that? Okay, now what is really going to complete this look is going to be a nice black eyeliner line to kind of give us the out that we need there. We're going to go ahead and one more time with that. I am going to grab, oh my gosh, I have been loving this Juvia's Place. This is the Egyptian pencil liner in Kajal. I have been loving that. So we're going to go ahead and take that. We're going to go to the outside corner. And we're going to give ourselves a nice line. I'm going to go about 3 widths high. And we're going to go just a little more than halfway across. So you can see what we got going on there. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to go just past that glitter. That's 1 height. That's 2 height. That's 3 height. Nice. So now we've got a nice heavy on the outside there. We're going to take that same, we're going to give a nice thin line right here on that lower lash line. About maybe 2/3 of the way across. And then we are going to do the water line today. So take that Juvia's Place or whatever you're using. And we're going to go all the way across with that water line. So the below the eyelashes is just about 2/3 of the way. And then the water line's going all the way across. Okay, so here's where we are now. Let's go ahead and grab our liquid liner. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex Easy Glide Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. And we're going to finish out that eyeliner up on the top. A nice thin line on the inside corner. And then just give a nice tight line there on that top. All the way across. Same thing on the other eye. Going to clean up that top line. There we go. I keep saying I'm going to get one of those little fans and I haven't done it yet. Okay, so just to make sure I don't have any kind of dripping happening over here, I'm just going to do that. There we go. So now it is time for us to do our brow product, and then we will be on with our lashes. Oh my goodness, I am loving our dill look for today. What you think so far? What do I got? I see some comments. I can't. Oh, there you go. I'm loving the dillio. There we go. Okay. So, brow product. What you got today? So, I am actually going to use a Sky High mascara. This was from our very own Rachel. And this is a Sky High mascara in the color Pink Air. But because my hair is pink right now, I am going to use this as my brow product. So let us give this a go. Whatever your brow product is, you'll go ahead and do that now at this point, whether that be pencil or pomade or whatever you got. So let's take a look at this one. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, at some point I'm going to have to try this on my lashes too, but today is not really that day. So let's go ahead and get our brow product on there. If you are using a mascara as your brow product, you want to make sure that you are hovering over your skin so that the mascara is only coloring the hairs that you have. And the cool thing about using a mascara as a brow product is that it sets it at the same time it is giving you color. Oh my gosh, I love that. Here, I'm going to flip it over just a little bit. Nice, look at that. Look at that. Okay, let's go. I know, now you can see how clear my brows actually are. Okay, and invisible. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the brow on the other side. And again, for me, you're just hovering, trying to only coat the hairs. And I see my eye is watering over here. I'm not sure if that's the day or if my eyes do not like the product. The rest of the day will tell me the truth of that. It would have been a smart idea to do my eye allergy drops, but alas, I did not do that. So, woo, look at those pink brows going on there. Okay, let's see if we can get that cleaned up. So this reminds me of and one of the reasons why I don't like MAC shadows. This reminds me of what they do. If your eyes water at all in a MAC shadow, you get a smeary, drippy, blurry puddle of the eyeshadow color. I do not like that. I don't think that's very user friendly. So I hope this one is only doing that because my eyes are very much misbehaving this morning. Okay, so what am I going to do? I am going to try to fix that color a little bit over here. There we go. All right, so we're just going to do our best. Here we go. So now I've got like 5 million things out on here. So we need a little bit of mascara, and then we're going to be using the Line and Lash, which I've just grown to love these. This is the Faux Mink Wispy from Allure, and we're going to be using the Bad Gal Bang mascara in black. So go ahead and grab your eyelash curler. This is the Tweezer Man Great Grip Onyx Eyelash. Hey, I actually got the name right this time. Great Grip Eyelash Curler. So we're going to do that. And we're going to get that on our lashes, making sure that we are not pinching our skin. We're going to say our verse together. And go. I can already hear one of you agreeing by saying, sounds good. You take care of the faith department and I'll handle the works department. Not so fast. You can no more show me your works apart from your faith, than I can show you my faith apart from my works. Faith and works, works and faith fit together hand in glove. And that's James 2:18. So same thing on the other side. There we go. Find your sweet spot and go. I can already hear one of you agreeing by saying, sounds good. You take care of the faith department and I'll handle the works department. Not so fast. You can no more show me your works apart from your faith than I can show you my faith apart from my works. Faith and works, works and faith go together hand in glove. James 2:18. Okay, let's get some mascara on here. I just realized I did not bring my mirror. This is going to make this little task fun. So we're just going to give a coat of mascara so that when we get our false lashes on, our lashes are going to blend in seamlessly. If you have black lashes, I know I say this all the time, but if you have black lashes, you might be able to skip this. But if you like volume, I would encourage you to go ahead and put the coat of mascara on there because it will give you more lash volume once you get those false lashes on there. Okay. And we're just going to give a coat on the other side. I cannot wait to see this with lashes on it. And right there, using that tip to get that outside corner. And then, because we're not getting false lashes on the bottom, let's go ahead and put regular coat of mascara on those bottom lashes. This is going to be a challenge. Okay, you know, we all get used to our tools, our devices, our method of application. And when you forget something, you know, like you go out of town or something and you forget like your favorite hairbrush or whatever, you can go get whatever hairbrush you want. And it may be like the most expensive hairbrush in the store. It doesn't matter. It's not your hairbrush. And that's what I feel like without a mirror. Okay, I got a little on the tip there. There we go. Hitting the bottom lashes over on the other side. Woo! Making sure I'm sweeping up under those tips there. This is a pretty intense look, so I think I'm going to do that one more time, if I can do it. Okay, and whatever mascara I have on my brush after doing that, I'm just going to put that on here. Okay, there we go. So now we got some mascara on there. I feel my eyes watering again. Let's see if we can go ahead and tap that. There we go. Hopefully your eyes are not watering like crazy like mine are. Okay, let's get our lashes on. So again, I'm using the Allure, the Line and Lash. I didn't really care for the adhesive that came in the package. So I do love the Allure lash adhesive. That is my favorite. I just didn't like the Line and Lash one. So I'm going to be using my velour tool. And I'm going to grab these lashes. They're already trimmed from the outside edge. So I'm just going to use that tool to pull the lash off the tray and set it in front of me. And same thing over here. Grabbing that outside corner and pulling that off that tray. Going to set that in front of me. Just making sure that the lash band is free and clear of whatever it was I had on last. So I'm just kind of checking, making sure there's no adhesive on there. In a perfect world, when you take these off, you do this so that when you get back on here, you don't, have to worry about this in the morning. But, sometimes life isn't perfect and things happen. So evidently I did not clean these off when I put these back on the tray. So let's just take a moment. We're just going to get that. If you see any debris that does not belong, maybe you've got extra glue, adhesive pieces, maybe there's hairs that need to be trimmed. This gives you a good time to be able to check those lashes out. Also, you want to make sure that here on the inside and outside corner of the lash, that you don't have that extra adhesive there because that's going to keep it from sticking. So just always check that, make sure. those are all good to go. I'm gonna set that in front of me. I'm gonna grab my iLure 18-hour glue. I'm gonna check my eye for watering one more time. Once I get them on, it'll be fine. This glue is waterproof, but you have to, get it on there first. Okay, so grabbing that lash with that velour tool, grabbing that eye glue. We're gonna go on the top of that band, making sure we catch the outside corners nice and good. And then we're gonna do the inside of that band. There we go. Set that down in front of you. Well, maybe. There we go. Grab the other one. Got that right there in the middle. Again, on the top edge of that band, you're just going to put that adhesive right there. Then on the back side of that band, right on that little ledge, we're going to get that adhesive there. Making sure we pay special attention to those outside corners so that those do not go anywhere. And I just got like adhesive very messily all over this. So let me just get that off. There we go. The adhesive, when it goes on, it's going to be white. So when it is ready and it has set just a little bit, it'll start to turn clear just a little bit if you're using a clear adhesive, and it'll lose its shininess. Whether it is a black adhesive or a clear adhesive, that will happen. It'll lose its shininess just a little bit. So you're going to give that just a minute. If these are a new lash set, go ahead and grab the corners and give it a little like this. That will help it shape more to your eye shape. These are flare, so the inside is narrow, the outside is wide. So you can tell that goes to this eye here. So we're going to set that in the middle. Put that right on that liner line we did. There you go. We're going to use the tip of that tool. Just make sure our lashes are worked in. We're just going to make sure that they are all in that same happy space together. There we go. Nice. Okay, same thing on the other side. Grabbing that, both ends. We're going to give it a little of this. Grab it in the middle. It's going to go in the middle. Putting the inside corner down, right on that liner line. And then the outside corner is going on that line out here. I'm just going to make sure that these are all in the same space together. There we go. And then we're going to take the tip of that and work our lashes into those lashes. And then we're going to take our tissue and dot our eye, which is now watering like a crazy fool. Okay. Yeah, like literally there is water on my line. Oh my. Okay. So outside from that crazy thing happening, this is what we've got today. We have got a nice yellow on the inside. Well, let me see what number that was. On the inside, we've got the number 7. Up on the brow bone up here, we've got the number 2. On the inside, we've got the number 1. Right here in the center, we've got the number 12 with the 14 on the outside edge. And then we've added just a little bit of that 15 right where those join. And then we've got the 15 on our lips using that NYX primer. The glitters in here, there's 2 of them. You've got, well, 3 actually. Oh no, it already broke. I didn't even drop it. Look at that. Okay, not so fun. 15, 10, and 4 are all glitters. And yeah, I'm not happy about that. I didn't even drop the pan. Okay, that's not fun. Not that that's a deal breaker, but if you're using that palette, make sure you're careful with it because I didn't even bang it or anything, and already one of the colors has broken. But as long as it stays in that pan, I'll be all good to go. I'll just have to be careful with that. Is not going to be a traveling palette. Okay. So now we're going to clean up just a little bit because there was a little bit of fallout. I see I've got some of that happening. So I'm going to grab the setting powder, and then I'm going to grab my bullet. And we're just going to take that little bullet right there on that tip. We're going to use it to clean up what we got here. And that's going to clean that outside edge there. Okay. Now I want to make sure that I can also see, since I just did that, I'm going to go back and grab that cookie and the highlighter brush. Let's just give another little thing right there. Since we were brushing an awful lot, we're just going to go up here. Just do that again. There we go. Just give us a little insurance. And now that we've done all that, for as much as we can, since my eye is watering, we want to make sure that this stays all day. And so this is the Juvia's Place, and this is the Ready, Set, Sealed. We're going to give that a little bit of a shake. We're going to close our eyes and just set all that. I gave it a little extra today since we've got glitter on there. There we go. Now we have a dill look. A delicious look for going out, for hanging out, for me going to work today. And so this is what we have been working on today. We're going to play a few more ways with this palette in the future. It's going to be a blast. So I look forward to seeing the different ways that we can use. I mean, there's a couple colors in here that it doesn't need to be, you know, like this, kind of a little more fun flavor of a look. But it'll be fun nonetheless. So let's take a look at our Bible verses and let's do a review. So today, given the fact that we're running a little bit over, we're going to go through some of our verses. That was James 1:1. And then in season 3, James 1, 2, and 4. If you have not seen these graphics, this is James 1, 5 to 8. Make sure you check out social media or working on that email list. That's going to have all of these laid out for you. If I say all of these, I know it's going to take a little bit of time. We're going to have a dedicated session for this one. I really did like this song, though. So let's say this one together. Anyone who meets a testing challenge head on and manages to stick it out is mighty fortunate. For such persons loyally in love with God, the reward is life and more life. All right. There you go. 116. Let's get to chapter 2, 19 to 21, 22 to 24. I hope you saw the fill in the blank flashcards from yesterday as well. Those went out designed to help you be able to, say that verse. So there's 2 different cards, 2 different sets of blanks. And so make sure you take a look at those. Then we were in James chapter 2. And then James chapter 2, 5 to 7. All of these. So I get asked this all the time. What are these images that are on your song? These are all the full color graphics that are coming from Color Me James. So what you're looking at is, now you can choose whatever color you want, but these are the original images from the book before they became coloring pages. Okay, then we did James 2, 8 to 11. And then, what was this one? This was kind mercy wins over harsh judgment every time. And then we had James 2, 14 to 17, which was our verses from last week. And the one thing I'm struggling with on this one is because the song kind of has them set up in different, they're laid out differently. The song is 100% the scripture in the Message translation, but they're just laid out a little differently. So I have trouble getting them in the right place. So let's go ahead and say that together, but I'm going to use a cheat sheet of sorts because it gets disjointed for me. So, dear friends, do you think you're going to get anywhere in this if you learn all the right words, but you never do anything? Does merely talking about faith indicate that a person actually has it? For instance, if you come upon an old friend dressed in rags, and starved and say, good morning, be clothed, be filled with the Holy Spirit. And then you walk off and you don't even offer him coat or a cup of soup. Where does that get you? Isn't it obvious that God talk without God acts is what? Is outrageous nonsense, which is the name of the song from last week. And then we have our verse, our verse from this week. I can't wait for you to hear this song. This one does have a verse 1 and a verse 2 that sort of kind of talk out some instances that might happen to get you a better feel for where we are contextually with where this dialogue is going. And let me tell you, James is coming down to a point here. So we started out nice with a wide, broad net, and now he's coming down to more specific. What are the fruit that you can look for that show that you are actually a person of faith? Because if you don't see these fruit, you may want to check yourself. All right, so James 2, verse 18. I can already hear one of you agreeing, saying, sounds good. You take care of the faith department and I'll take care of the works department. Not so fast. You can no more show me your works apart from your faith than I can show you my faith apart from my works. Faith and works and faith fit together, hand in glove. All right, so we know that it is not by works that any man should boast, but that it is, coming to the Father, open heart, open hand, asking Jesus Christ to be the Lord of your life. That is the way to get to heaven. It is not about what you do. Well, I guess it is about what you don't do. But anyways, you get the point and the meaning behind what James is saying. Truly love this week's verse. So, and I haven't even done the Bible study part of it yet. So here we go. Again, all of this is coming from Color Me James, available in ebook, in spiral bound version, and also in paper bound version. So thank you so much for hanging out with me here today. It has been a delight to hang out with you in our pickle-orific day. Just want to remind you about the Beauty and Grace Insider. This is where the weekly verse challenge is going to be coming in. There are 3 membership levels. The top tier, which is the Cherished Queen, in that membership level, when you join and then you go join that email list, it immediately sends it to you. So that is going to have the ebook for free in the Cherished Queen level. So we have already reviewed our verses. So let's see what we got. Okay, you can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform. So please like and subscribe, become a Beauty and Grace Insider member, and I look forward to seeing you on social media on whatever plan you are on. So let me send you out with a blessing this week. You ready? Here we go. This is from number 6, verse 24 to 26. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his countenance upon you and give you peace. Heavenly Father, how thankful I am for each one of these women that have come and hung out with me here online, whether they are here in person live right now or they are watching this later on. Father, I just pray that you would send them out in grace and mercy. If there is anyone here that does not know you, that does not call you their Lord and Savior, that does not have their name written down in the Lamb's Book of Life like you tell us, Father, I pray that you would bring them to that place. Show them yourself, Father, that they would come to you, they would be drawn to you. Father, I just pray that as we go throughout this week, we never know when our last day is our last day, but don't let that be when you wait to be able to call Jesus your King. Father, I pray that you would send them out in blessings this week, that you would help us to be diligent in our scripture memorization. For those that need healing, that you would send them that way, their direction. For those who are grieving and suffering, Father, that you would just embrace them and give them mercy and grace where they are in that suffering. Father, for all of us, as we encounter trials and tribulations, as we flesh out our faith, as we work out the faith, as we grow fruit, Father, I just pray that you would help these verses to be an encouragement. Okay, maybe a little bit of a bite, because we know that little bit of a bite is part of what helps you grow, but that this would be an encouragement to us to be a better Christ follower, to be a doer and person of action and not just a hearer. Father, I send all these women out this week, Father, in your grace, in your mercy, in your love, and in Jesus' name I pray, amen. Well, again, it has been a delight to hang out with you. I look forward to seeing you on social media throughout this week. And this week is a word search, which is my favorite. So I hope that you enjoy the coloring page and the word search this week, because It's kind of awesome. So I will see you throughout social media this next week. Enjoy your pickle palette, enjoy your pickle look, and send me a picture. Let me see what you got. How did yours come out? Did you use a different palette? What you got? Let me see. Let's celebrate together being women of God. So have a great week. I love you. Goodbye. God bless. Mwah.